Love Guaranteed, or as I like to call it, Love Gets Butchered by this horrible rom-com Netflix piece of garbage movie that came out today that I watched. Long name, but that's what I like to call it. Uh, yeah, if you couldn't tell, I did not like this movie. And some of y'all might be saying, well, that's because you're a guy. You don't like rom-coms. And I'm so sick of that stereotype because, look, rom-coms, the reason most guys don't like them is because they're bad. And they appeal to females as a gender. That's not me being sexist. That's just what they do. And, there are plenty of guys who do like them. But for the most part, the reason most guys don't like them is because they're not good. And the reason most girls like them is because it appeals to something that they like, so they don't really care that much. And there are plenty of females who also hate rom-coms too. So, I'm just saying. I'm not being sexist. That's just how it is. It's a fact. But this movie is about a generic lawyer lady and generic client guy. This generic lawyer lady meets with this client. He wants to sue this dating website that promises that love is guaranteed. And yay, love is guaranteed. And it's guaranteed. And so he says, look, I want to sue him. This is false advertising. So he goes off to sue this thing. And generic lawyer lady and generic client guy end up falling in love. Wow, ain't that just wonderful? Just fantastic. Here's the thing. This movie's premise is not bad. Like, I'd love to see a rom-com that is also a critique of dating websites. Like, that could be smart and interesting. But instead, this movie wants to throw you at some of the most cringy, disgusting humor ever. In like a rom-com. Okay, not ever. I've seen a rom-com. I've seen way too many rom-coms. I've watched them by myself too. That should tell you enough right there. But it's like there's this one guy who's gay and they make fun of this guy. There's this joke with an old man that's really disturbing and gross. And just a lot of humor here that is just nasty. And, every rom-com has that scene where the two characters confess their love for each other at the end of the movie. And this has one of the worst ones I've ever seen in a film. It is so bad. This movie is horrible. The performances are fine, but it's just the script and the dialogue and the pacing of it and how bland and generic this movie is and just the jokes, the humor, everything there is just awful. And no one should watch this movie. By the way, this is directed by the guy who directed Daredevil and Ghost Rider. Okay, Daredevil, awful movie. Netflix series, way better than that. You should watch that instead of watching that movie. But I find that movie a fun, guilty pleasure. Ghost Rider, same thing. But it's like, I prefer the second one, honestly. But okay, it's just like this. This is what he moved on to do. To direct a generic rom-com movie that's boring as sin and nobody should watch. You know how many rom-com movies Netflix makes a month? If I don't have the time to review the amount of Netflix rom-coms that come out, there is 2 rom-coms. 2 generic rom-coms a month on Netflix. I can tell you one thing. This film did not confirm that love is guaranteed. So, I'm gonna go cry now.